Hey beautiful women, Shakti here. Just wanted to pop on to do this live. I felt inspired to make a live with a little diagram called, let's make sure my phone doesn't fall over, why your body, emotions and sexuality are key to your awakening. And I want to talk about this with reference to a little diagram which I'm just going to pop up here for you to see. Hopefully that's really clear for you to see. There's a picture of a body, very simply drawn. And as you'll see on this picture, above is masculine, below is feminine. Above is heaven or sky, and below is earth. So I'll refer to that again in a minute. But basically, this is something that I really want to share because it feels so important to me for this to be understood. So we've been living in a patriarchal paradigm, right, for centuries, and in that patriarchal paradigm, a very masculine way of looking at the world, you know, because of course we see through the lens of our own perspective, right? So the lens around which every aspect of our culture and society has been shaped has been the lens of the masculine. And not only that, the lens of the kind of immature and unconscious, asleep masculine. And so if you look at this diagram, this picture of a body, and the sense that everything that is masculine is at the top. So the head, where rational thoughts, where logic, where reason, where order has been the priority, has created all the systems, all the structures, all the beliefs and values that create the society and the world that we live in, including the idea that God is up there in heaven at the top, right? And that God is a masculine God, like a great big angry father in the sky who tells us off and judges us if we do something wrong, right? It's a completely patriarchal worldview based around a very masculine perspective, based around basically a projection of reality from a man onto reality. This comes from, I mean, I have read and studied the history, but just to kind of you know, explain it in very, very simple terms. Many years ago, centuries ago, society was more equal, more egalitarian, and more matriarchal, so more focused around the feminine values of inclusion, of living close to nature, of community, of cooperation, of working with herbs and respecting the body, honoring sacred sexuality. This was how we used to live. And then things changed, and for all kinds of reasons. But part of that shift into a patriarchal paradigm, which we're now coming out of, was the fear in men of the power that women embodied. Because what they saw women embodying was the free flow of awakened sexual energy through their bodies, which didn't come so naturally to men, and it frightened them. What they experienced was women speaking light language, women using herbs and natural remedies and other ancient wisdoms to cure and to heal and to treat sickness, right? Using crystals, using invocation to deities, using magic and shamanism. And they were afraid of this power that they saw the women carrying. And so part of the patriarchal phone, don't want my phone to fall over, part of the patriarchal narrative was to repress, to control. Hold on a sec, I just want to make this stable and then I can carry on. Was, sorry about this, was to repress, was to control, and to separate themselves from what they were afraid of. Now, again, if you look at this diagram, and I hope it's clear. I don't know if I can't see myself. All I can see is the white page. But if you look at the top, it's the head and the top of the body. If you look at the bottom, it's the bottom of the body. And down in the bottom of the body, you've got your belly, you've got your womb space, you've got your genitals, you've got your vulva, your yoni, your womb, and your root, right? And connected, if you understand energetic, hang on a second, this is annoying me, I want to get this stable. If you understand anatomy beyond Western anatomy, hold on, let me try something else. If you understand energy, and if you understand that we are more than just a physical body, which of course the mind would have you want to think, right? If you're stuck in the very patriarchal paradigm, okay, that's going to work now, I think. You're going to think that seeing is believing. You're going to think that there is only the mind. You're going to think that logic is the only solution, right? You're not going to understand things that you can't sort of prove with so-called science, which is never actually objective. Anyway, I digress. So down here, we have our sexuality, we have through the womb, we have our relatedness, right? So the womb space, the sacral chakra, is about sensuality, creativity, and it's about interconnectedness. It's about relating, it's about community, it's about cooperation. And so if we come down, the further we come down from the chakras at the top, and the lower we go, the closer we get to earth, and the closer that we get to material things, the denser we become. And in the patriarchal framework, everything down here that is connected with the feminine, most especially the body, sexuality and emotions, because this all lives down here in the lower part of the body, all of this has been demeaned, overridden, diminished, belittled, regarded as less than, not as important as, and disconnected from, right? And so this is how you get people, men and women, because men and women are conditioned to be up here, who are disconnected from their body. Now, the body is wise and intelligent, but in order to access that wisdom and intelligence, you've got to be inhabiting your body, which means you have to be feeling and sensing, right? If you're feeling and sensing, you're also going to be feeling and sensing emotions. The patriarchal paradigm encourages you to disconnect, to cut off from your body, to cut off from your emotions so that you don't feel. So then you get people doing aggressive sports, punishing their bodies, overriding the body signals because they can't hear the body signals because they're so numbed out. And this whole philosophy of no pain, no gain, pushing yourself through, not resting. It's a very aggressive, masculine way of treating yourself, and it disconnects you completely from your feminine energy, your feminine essence, and your feminine wisdom and intelligence, which is here in the body, here in the womb, here in your sex. So if we go down further to your sex center, actually, let me just talk about emotions as well. So emotions, again, are seen as something weak, confusing, unreliable, a nuisance, to be embarrassed, to be repressed, to not show in public, to keep a stiff upper lip, to hold it inside. When in actual fact, your emotions are a huge part of your intelligence, of your feminine intelligence. They give you information. Emotions keep you healthy. They show you where there is a need. They show you where something is wanted from within, and it's information that is to be respected and listened to. Emotion is just energy. It's beautiful, and every emotion is an expression of the divine feminine Shakti energy. Wherever it is on the spectrum that we call good and bad, every emotion is just energy. Every emotion is just an expression of energy. But because of this attitude of privileging the mind and what is above rather than what is below, we've all been trained to stop down our emotions and stop feeling. And so what happens is that we can't feel sensation either. So we can't feel our hearts, we can't feel sensation, and that means that we're unable to connect with ourselves. It also means we're unable to connect fully, intimately with others, or that there are barriers to that. It means that we can't enjoy the pleasure that we're capable of when all of this is de-armored. And it means we can't access our superpowers as women, because our superpowers are down here. Oh, got a low battery, gonna hurry up. Our superpowers are down here. So you will have heard of Kundalini Shakti, sacred sexual energy, Shakti energy. This energy rises from below. It's at the base of the body, at the root. It rises through the womb space, into the belly, into the heart, into the throat, the third eye, and up to the crown, where it meets pure consciousness, the divine masculine. But the patriarchy I'm speaking about has no connection to this divine wisdom, because it's dissociated from its divine feminine, who lives down here. So in the old paradigm, the patriarchal paradigm, above has been privileged over below, but actually we need both poles. We need masculine and feminine, equal, integrated all the way through. So it's not that we're saying you don't need to think, you don't need to use logic, but when your logic and your mind is divorced from your emotions, your sexuality, your sensuality, and your body, it doesn't work, and you get the kind of world that we've got now, which is completely fucked up, where you have tyrants running the show, disconnected from their hearts, disconnected from their feminine, unable to relate and see the whole picture, disconnected from Mother Earth, disconnected from the power of healing that comes from inner wisdom. When we come down into the body and we feel, immediately everything opens. So this is why there's this complete flipping. When we feel more, we open to the cosmicness of our being. When we open to the cosmicness of our being, we suddenly recognize ourselves as one with all of life. It's a spiritual experience. But this only happens when we allow ourselves to open, to feel, to sense, and to activate this energy, Shakti, that flows up from below. Our sexual energy, of course, it gives us sexual pleasure, but it's so much more than this, because this activation, this awakening, is what opens us to God consciousness, to meeting the masculine. It's what opens us to our superpowers, speaking in light language, channeling deities, suddenly being able to paint or create in a certain way, birthing our soul gifts into the world. This all comes about through the expansive cosmic experience that we are able to open to when our Shakti is alive and awake and activated. But she cannot flow through our body-mind system with her cosmic wisdom and intelligence when we are shut down, not feeling, not sensing, not aware, not here in the present moment, because we're up here thinking, la 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 la, right? Coming into your body through breath, through sensation, through movement, through dance, through tantric meditation, brings us into the body immediately. When you are here in the body feeling what's going on, you can't at the same time be thinking. Guess what happens when you're making love? You feel more, you sense more. You can't fully open to your sexual potential when you're in your head, when you're worrying about how you look or what's going to happen next, or the shopping list, right? So being in the body brings you present. So the path that I'm teaching is about reclaiming this, your sexuality, your body, your emotions, in order to become integrated, awakened, whole as woman in union with the divine masculine. But it starts from the bottom up, not from the top down. And first, on this path, there's so much healing, releasing and reclaiming to be done, because most people have no idea that they're living up here disconnected from all of this. No idea. And so it's a slow process of reclamation and realization and resensitization and beginning to see, oh my fucking God, I've been numb from the neck down, or numb from the waist down, or hardly feeling anything. I've been disconnected from my inner wisdom. My inner wisdom is not in my logical mind. It's down in my womb and my cunt. It's in my body, which is giving me information all the time. It's in my energy frequency. But I have to be awake to that to be able to tap into it. Right? So that is what all of my teachings are about. It's about this reclamation. Reclaim the body, reclaim the emotions, reclaim the sexuality. And in that path, you'll meet everything that has stood in the way, everything that has limited you, all the thoughts, all the programming, all the conditionings of the patriarchal mind that are there in your family, in your church, in the education system, in the media, in the government. It's everywhere. In your ancestors' DNA, coming through, limiting you, telling you that you're not good enough, telling you that you're not as good as, telling you that you're not worthy, telling you that, you know, you have to think to get the solution, telling you have to work harder, to do more, to achieve more, to be the best, to be better than, to compare yourself. This is all immature, patriarchal programming thinking. We are here to undo this and soften and relax back into the knowing in the body of who we really are, of what we've come here for, which is not to stress ourselves out trying to figure everything out with our heads, however brilliant your mind is. I've got a brilliant mind. It's awesome. But the wisdom, the gifts, the love, the sensuality that I bring through and embody, it starts from below. And it's integrated and integrating more and more all the way through. This is my path. The whole reclamation, the whole integration. Because that's what this world needs right now, is men and women who are standing in that integrated way. So for men, it's the journey down, because they're pretty much all cut off from their feminine, right? So it's that integration down. For us, it's the integration up. Same. And we're all having to do this for ourselves to create the new earth. Without this wholeness, whether you're stuck above or you're stuck below, because that also can happen. There can be women who are like completely down here and they're disconnected from what's up there as well. You know, it's an integration process. But for most people, it's a reclamation of the base and a recognizing that it's all equal and it's all important. And we've been living in a society for eons that has completely cut us off from what is here. But it's what is here where we're able to access our true, deep, innate spirituality, ecstasy, receptivity, divinity, holiness. So, you know, that's why the church has taught for so long that sex is sinful. Of course it's not, it's a load of bollocks. But that has instilled so much guilt, shame and fear in women about the very, very center of their soul, the very, very center of their superpowers has been layered over with shame, with fear, with this man-made concept of sin. There is no sin. And your sexuality is sacred, beautiful, divine. Your yoni, your vulva, your vagina is the seat of your soul. So I'm here to support your reclamation of this knowing, this wisdom, this gateway to your goddess, divine self. All right, that's what I wanted to share today. Luckily, I managed to finally stabilize my little phone camera there. Pop any questions or comments you've got underneath, I'll come back to answer them, or I'm going to go for a walk now because the sun's just come out. Looks really lovely. And also just a quick reminder that my rapture immersion is starting tomorrow. So this is my 5-month immersion that takes you on this journey of reclaiming this from the patriarchal narrative and reframing it in a completely feminine-centered, love-centered, divine-centered perspective, empowering you to go forth in the world and shine as you are designed to, and really own all that you are in your integrated, beautiful, luscious sensuality. Whatever age you are, whatever shape you are, it's got nothing to do with that. That's all the patriarchal programming. We're here to release all of that and step up and rise as Shakti sisters. So be in touch if you want to come and join us, and or if there's something there that touches you where maybe you want to have a one-to-one. Lots of love, beautiful women, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.